Yeah, and we're live. So we are doing episode 10 of BenBoozing, and I got a special guest, Zach from Spirited Reviews. How you doing, Zach?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Oh, hold on. I got it playing on YouTube over here. Yeah, I got it poured up too. So we're gonna sip along. I sent Ben a whole bomb, to use a cigar term. That one was new to me, of some whiskey samples of various types. So he'll be unboxing that for you guys, and we'll just be talking about spirits, cigars, whatever comes up.
Yep. No, you definitely been a great friend and helping me find my footing. You also upgraded my glassware, which is super cool.
You're welcome. Yeah, I saw you doing the reviews. I'm like, I love what you're doing. I love that you're trying the different glassware types, and you're trying it on the rocks. You're trying it neat. You're trying it with water. And I said, let me get you a glass so you can really get into the nose of something and really experience the full set of aromas that a whiskey can present to you. And this bonded is on one of my favorite budget quote bottles. I think the 700 milliliters, because it's not 750, runs about $45. So not too bad in the terms of whiskey.
I got mine for a really good deal. What's up, Val, in the chat? Trader Joe's. I know I'll probably get in trouble with the TOS, but whatever. Trader Joe's got these for $25 right now. I'm probably gonna get a second one because I've been working through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a heck of a good deal. Yeah, I think it's $42.99 here roughly in Alabama. I know most people it's like $35, I think. So anything less than $35 is a great deal.
What's up, Randy, in the chat?
Hey, Randy, thanks for joining,
guys.
I've also got
go ahead.
Jack 10, and I'm actually gonna do a bottle kill tonight later of Jack 12 batch 1. So that one's finally going down the hatch.
Beautiful. So I'm glad that you guys also reviewed these on the channel. I got to check out the other two builds on them. I think it's going to be a pretty good sweep versus the other basic line Jacks, but we have been going through a lot of the Brown Foreman basic stuff, the 86 Old Forester, and I was kind of on the fence about picking up the number 7, got the number 7. I killed a bottle over the last 2 years of the Gentleman's Jack. I didn't think I was going to go buy another little tiny, but I think that it was important for the series. It's been really fun building up the BenBoozing as a newer drinker to kind of find where my palate is, learn the community and what's out there in the world, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. That's the number one thing I've noticed between the cigar community where I met you and the whiskey community where I'm coming from is just full of amazing, awesome people, crazy nerds and enthusiasts who obsess and just want to share. And so that's something that really attracted me to both communities and what makes both of them so awesome. And I want to, find ways to give back to that. So, we started the channel, Spirit Reviews. We got a free Discord. You can come check us out, hang out with us, ask us all your spirit questions. And, it's just, I always want to try to give back to people in their journey because I kind of had those people in my journey. So it's nice to be able to reciprocate that to you and get you some awesome samples.
Terry's funny.
It's right.
Well, it smells real nice. Definitely heavy caramel, kind of nice oak spice going on. So I'm gonna start with the old way and kind of see what I would have normally got, and then see on what it opens up to.
Yeah, definitely agree. Caramels, vanillas. I'm curious because it's a note that a lot of people pull out on Jack Daniels, and I think that the bonded tends to have it really strongly. Are you getting any sort of banana bread, banana Foster? You know, that
Oh
kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
especially that I let it sit on my tongue. Like that's one thing that when I was starting my journey, I always see everybody wincing real hard when they're drinking. And so you're forcing yourself to get to the end result instead of enjoying the journey. So I put down alcohol for a good 10 years, like just seldomly drinking because I didn't like what it was like in my early 20s.
Mhm.
So when I wanted to pick it back up, I wanted to take the enjoyments that I was getting with the tobacco and my learning on how to sip real slow, don't just try to swallow it real fast, like kind of taking some of the notes from wine drinkers. It gives me a lot to experiment on palate. I definitely get that nice warm banana bread going on, sweet,
Mhm.
a little bit of spice, but not heavy spice. That is really good.
Yeah, they when I first got into whiskey, I went on a couple of tours in Kentucky, and they described something they called the Kentucky Chew. So they always told you, hey, if you're not used to drinking, that first sip's always going to be pretty aggressive as you get, hit with the ethanol on the tongue and in the mouth. But try to take a small sip, you swish it around, coat the entire palate to kind of, I don't want to say numb, but in effect numb your senses to that ethanol burn, so that when you go back for that second sip, you should be able to sort of start to pull out flavors. And same as cigars, you kind of start out with general flavors. You say this is sweet, this is savory, this is oaky, this is earthy, those type of notes. You don't have to try to come up with toasted apricot chips, nothing like that. That's straight out of the gate. But just start there, and it's just been an awesome journey for me. I've had a ton of fun with it.
Oh wow. So first off, the nose opens up like threefold in the better glass. Like you just get, it's like watching from a little tiny TV to a high definition. Like it definitely opens up quite a bit. And even on the flavor, probably a little bit more pronounced on the nose, but I'm so glad I get to look forward to the rest of the journey with the better glass.
Yeah, no, it makes a huge difference, even compared to like a rocks class. I know some people, at the end of the day, drink whiskey how you like, the way you like it. That's all that matters. Don't, but if you'd like to give Glencairn a shot, try it out. Buy one. They're like $7.50, I think, on Amazon. So not too much risk to take to try it out and see if you prefer it. Yeah, Terry,
Oh,
we were just talking about Stozels before we went live. I have Jack 12 poured in the Stozel.
so I'm
Yeah,
glad when we were in the cigars and banded chat, and they have a little bit of a cork and barrel tag, and I've been really enjoying it in there. But we were discussing some of the stuff that I was starting to try, and you ended up jumping in and seeing where I'm at on my journey, both me and Terrence from Cigars Daily, and it was definitely cool you reached out, knowing that stuff is hard to find and it's
yeah,
hard to pick. Like it's probably a little bit more overwhelming than going to a cigar humidor. Like there's just so much, and learning that proof isn't everything. It does tell you a lot, but there, it's like the different sizes of cigars,
hmm
like, and then age statement. We don't really get age statement in cigars too often. Like there's a little bit in notes, but I appreciate you sending me the goods. This is really awesome.
yeah, man.
I like that. That's super cool how you package some real nice visual. I could totally see what it is from the just opening the box.
Yeah, those liquid ministries are top notch for sample jars. They're about as good as they get.
So we'll start going through the picks because you gave me a nice access to a lot of stuff. It was really hard to pick. I wanted to pick some stuff that I already knew I kind of liked the direction of, and then some stuff that I saw you guys review, and then also things that I have no clue on whatsoever. But after doing some research, it seemed like they were some good stuff to try to go at.
Yeah, no, I was when you reached out, I was like, oh man, well, he knows some good stuff. So definitely excited for you to get into each of those and get to try them.
Okay, so following my episode number 1 was the Wild Turkey 101. I was really surprised. What up, Peter? How you doing?
So Peter?
Yeah, so this Wild Turkey 101 70th anniversary, it's really cool that Jimmy is still with us and he's helping his grandson lead into the future. Really special that they end up having this going on. I've never seen this anywhere close to me, so it's cool that I get to try it out.
Yeah,
it's probably what I want to try with you.
Jimmy's is one of my favorite releases from, I think it came out earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, but 8-year age statement return. Maybe it came out late last year. 8-year age statement return to the bottle, though, for the first time in a long time, because usually that was reserved for overseas market only, something that I think happens in cigars occasionally too. 101 proof, though, the traditional turkey mash bill, that's 75 corn, 13 rye, 12 malted barley. And I love that pour so much.
Well, I know I'm not following through on the fillet to the fat side, but I want to make sure I get to enjoy this one again.
Yeah. That Wild Turkey tends to kind of be an eye-opener for a lot of folks about wanting to explore whiskey further. That kind of seems to be one of the more budget standards that people say help them along their journey.
Oh wow, that is just special, like almost fruity nectar compared to how the regular 101 is.
Yeah,
that is so smooth.
Yeah, the thing that really drew me to the Jimmy's was that that added sweetness, the citrus sweetness specifically that I was getting, like a nice orange sweetness.
Yeah, Terry telling me I'm going a little too fast. Go over and coat the glass a little bit.
Yeah, you can do the Kurt from SLB method. He does a slow roll there. Or you can do the Matt Porter with the SJ, he calls it. Lots of different methods. But yeah, when you coat that glass, though, that you can see the oils from the whiskey, the legs. You know, you hear that in wine too.
Oh, yeah.
They'll stick to the side of the glass, and those aromas will allow them to creep further up the glass and make them more accessible.
This one's really cool. Like, I'm even getting like double legs.
Yep.
Amazing.
All the little tricks of the trade.
Like, it does have a little bit of the spice present, but it's so balanced. And it's got a bunch of more flavors that opened up from the basic 101. I got to try it again now that I got the better glass, but this is definitely worth the hunt. I got to try to find these.
They're going to be tough at this point, but they probably exist. You just may have to work out some sort of trade or deal with someone to get you one.
I'm struggling a little bit on the online market. I'll probably have to talk to you off camera on kind of how that works out. Because I know shipping definitely comes into play quite a bit. I've seen some offerings of the bottle, but it'll definitely, at least the regular 8-year I should try to get, but from what I could see, that this one is different than the other 8 years, and I could see it's real special. It's really cool to drink this with you.
Yeah. The standard 8-year that came out this year is a little bit more spice driven, baking spices, to put it simply, but a little bit less sweet and a touch more nutty, which is an interesting thing coming from the whiskey world into the cigar world. I know nutty gets used a lot in cigars too, but in the whiskey world, it almost sometimes carries a negative connotation. Whereas in the cigar world, it typically tends to describe a, it's not a good or a bad note necessarily. It's just a note.
So Randy's giving some good advice here. Let it rest for a minute after the slow roll, SJ.
Yeah. After you, so when you do this, you're introducing air into the spirit, and that ethanol is going to gas off as it evaporates. So what he's saying is that when you do that, you make the nose more aggressive. So if you find it to be too ethanol forward, give it a moment to rest before you smell it. Or he has a trick where he blows into the glass physically to sort of help let those ethanol vapors escape, and then goes for the nose.
Right on. That's beautiful. I'll definitely let them sit for a little bit while we keep going through these samples. Wild Turkey Rare Breed Barrel Proof.
Yep, had to read that one too.
So is this different than the regular rare breeds, or are all of them kind of a barrel proof?
They're all barrel proof. Yours actually came from this bottle right here. So they say barrel proof. They're all 116.8. So the way they achieve that is they blend the batch of barrels to meet that proof point without adding water to it.
That's cool.
Not like single barrel strength, which can be a wide range of proofs. The rare breed always goes to a specific proof, and it's batched to reach that proof. And in this, you'll have 6, 8, and 12-year turkey distillate. This bottle's from 2023, actually. So some people claim that this old label, this is not the label they use anymore, was superior. So you'll get to try 2-year-old bottle of rare breed when you get to that one.
Yep, I'm very looking forward to it. I know you guys rated it pretty high on your episode.
Yeah, that's one that so many things get compared to. It's really a benchmark in the whiskey community. It's if you price your pour at or above $50, you will get compared to that pour at some point, probably. So, especially if you're barrel strength. So, it's one that everyone really champions and enjoys. And then this Jack 12. Oh man, batch 1 was so good.
Yeah, I'm glad to be learning it from the bottom, because chasing some of those bottles, my shops I think wanted like close to $500 for that, and it probably is a little bit worth it, but definitely some of it could be wasted on me where I'm at. But it's still cool to be able to experience some stuff when I can.
Yeah.
I don't think they do pours in any of the shops out here in California. So
You're Southern California, right?
yeah,
There's a couple good. Are you in the LA area or are you somewhere else?
more south than San Diego.
Okay.
So I'm maybe like 2 hours south of LA.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good online shops in the California area that would ship to you, and they tend to have pretty good pricing. And obviously, Costco in California is really killer for liquor. So if you have a Costco membership, definitely check them out. You never know.
Yeah, I don't at the moment, but seeing some of people's Costco hunts, some of the unobtainium stuff in the regular stores, it definitely you could do some good going and picking up from there.
Yeah. I don't say the comment anymore, but Randy had a good point. Don't rush the journey. You got it at your hands. Both in the Cud. I know there's lots of knowledgeable people there, and in Spirited Discord. Just ask for tips or ideas or what to do next, and don't rush it. Take your time, enjoy it, find out what you like. It's a ton of fun. Oh yeah, Andrew, good point.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's pretty cool. Definitely something I'll check out. That you don't necessarily need the membership. So it was really cool from your list that it wasn't just all bourbons or Kentucky whiskey. I keep always calling Jack bourbons.
It is. It is bourbon. They just choose to call it Tennessee whiskey.
Mm-hmm. But to get some of these single malts, I really have no clue what I'm jumping into because I know that a lot of stuff is considered just Scotch, but then it's got to be from Scotland and following certain stuff to be considered that you could still have a lot of single malts that are like that. I've never had anything that was peated. So this Hogsback Wallace is definitely very interesting. I thought it was probably something that was a good place to start of something really good, and then try to find that in the lower values. And I might be just spoiling myself, but I thought it was cool to check out.
Yeah, so I would not call it a good place to start. You asked for it. I think it's fun, and so I'm definitely curious for when you get to it. It is quite the aggressive peat pour. The Johnny Walker 15 you showed me earlier. Do you like Band-Aids? It's not quite that profile to me, Terry, but the Johnny Walker 15 you showed me earlier will have a small portion of the blend will be peated. I don't know if Buchanan, most of your blended Scotch whiskeys do have a peat component in them, and you can kind of pick up on a very subtle smoke in kind of the background of those pours. So, but that Hogback is going to be quite aggressive on the peat profile. Tons of smoke, char, campfire. Have you ever had Kentucky Fire Cured from Drew Estate? So yeah, yeah. So think fire cured tobacco when you go into that pour. But yeah, I would save that for later in your journey. I did think it was fun that you asked for it, and so I wanted to send it to you just to see what you thought, because it is pretty wild, especially for a newer drinker. But I would definitely wait on that one. You got a couple of Scotch little shooters there. That might be a good place to kind of start to introduce yourself to those flavors.
Okay. Good advice. I'm glad that we're doing this live unboxing.
Yeah.
I've yet to see anybody do any of these, so it's cool to get your take on stuff. Especially, I don't know exactly what I picked on a lot of them. I do like the fire cured tobaccos, so it makes me feel good that I've got that to look forward to. But I'll definitely take my time and kind of have that later down the list.
Yeah.
Because you just talked about the balconies in the Monday live, and I thought that was really fitting that you mentioned that they're Texas whiskey There's not a whole lot of content covering these guys, so I'm glad that this will probably be one that I review on the channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Balcones Cataleja is what I sent him. So that's an American single malt from Texas that pretty much uses every sherry under the sun in your secondary cask maturation. So it's a lot of fun, especially if you love sherry. And that is a absolutely killer American single malt, one of my favorites. 100% malted barley, 118 proof. I think it's 5 years old, but in Texas, that's a long time. So definitely excited to see what you think about that one. That'll be another one that's going to be very different from the things that you've tried so far, but a flavor bomb for sure.
Didn't realize I fell out of the order of our list, but that's okay. They're fun to bring up wherever we can.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. I got the list over here going too, so I can follow along.
Keeping with the single malts, the Caden Heads cast strength.
Yeah, that's from Dow Wayne. So that's that's an unpeated Scotch whiskey. That's 15 years old, finished in port wine. So nice, dark plum, grape, dark fruit sweetness.
Nice color on it too.
Oh yeah, when you pour it, it's going to be real dark because that port wine really exerts its influence on that Scotch and colors it nice and dark. That'll be one I would say you definitely need to have prior to the hogback.
For sure. No, I've been trying to build things up in like groups of 5 to kind of keep the series themed a little bit. So I got to figure out a couple other easy to get scotches and single malts that would make sense together. We'll probably do that hogsback at a way later grouping. But I got to find a couple other that match this Buchanan and then the green label.
I think I know they make 375s of Glenfiddich 12 and Glenlivet 12. I don't know if I'm sure they probably make a shooter of one of those two, if not both. And then Macallan also makes a 375 of their 12, although I think that's still like $60 to $80 for 375 or something crazy like that. So not quite as affordable as the other two. But another really good entry-level Scotch. We also covered a lot of entry-level Scotches. I'm not sure if you watched those yet or not, but we went over this little Diageo pack that you can buy. It's like a 5-pack and explores the different regions of Scotland, each of their distilleries they own. I
missed that one. I got to go find that.
Yeah, we don't really label it. It's a Talisker 10-year, Oban Little Bay. We do the Glenlivet 12. That one's separate. That's not in that pack. And then we do Lagavulin 8-year, and we do the Singleton. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you can look back on any of our World Spirit Wednesdays. We have a playlist on our channel of Scotchy Scotch, and we also have World Spirit Wednesdays playlist. Everything in there is Scotch currently, but eventually we'll get to rum and agaves and other things.
Very cool, because I'm kind of holding back on some of the other spirit types, but it'll be cool to kind of see on how you guys journey into that a little bit before I start getting into the rums, especially being a cigar blender. I know that rums have done really well with the pipe tobacco blending. I found one of this moonshine blend. They had a hazelnut rum that I thought did really good with the tobacco. Definitely got to learn which one sipped well as well, but it's kind of cool to have that in the back of my mind of being an artisanal blender where some of these can be used, and it wouldn't be blasphemy of pouring it on the tobacco.
Oh, no, yeah. Norm in our channel, he's in the chat right now as our channel, but he's also a big time pipe smoker. He also makes his own home blends, so you guys could probably mind meld there a little bit. You guys could come up with some fun stuff.
Right on. Thank you. I was gonna ask who's steering the channel tonight, because I've got to talk with Randy a little bit, and I've really been getting to know you, but I definitely got to get to know Justin and Norm a little bit. Thank you, Norm, for coming and hanging out. We definitely got to connect on the tobacco side, because it's fun. So probably all these are really cool, but some of the ones that I was really looking forward to, because they're not cheap entries, and you guys rated them both really high, was the Peerless Rise, the toasted batch 1 and the double oak. They seem very, very different on the profiles and experience, but still both very special.
Yeah, definitely. That toasted rye was such a surprise this year. That's batch 1. They have batch 2 now. That's more readily available and probably still available in most markets. I've tried that also. It's also really good. But toasted marshmallow bomb, just awesome whiskey. And then the double oak rye will be a little bit darker in profile from that double oaking versus the toasting process.
Oh, trying to multitask with the multiple stuff we're doing. So we're gonna try in the old glass, the adding a couple drops so I can keep the Glen neat. Because normally when I've been passing the high 80s or into the 100 proof, the adding a little bit of water has opened up the profile.
Yeah, definitely good practice to do with a lot of pours, is just to see if you like it with a touch of water.
I feel it kind of hurts the balance a little bit on this one. So we still have the rocks, which I got to get to. It's starting to melt, so it's going to be quite different.
Yeah, sometimes Fountain North is a Canadian whiskey brand that's really popular, but most brands typically don't mention adding water or not, but Fountain North does. They call it the manager's proof, and on their bottles they will give you instructions about how to achieve that manager's proof. And then Scotch typically and Irish have a long history of doing that, even to their 80 proof, 86 proof, etc. Pours, just to add water to see how the palate and profile changes. I mean, it'll always change a little bit, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better.
Yep. And there are different water sources. Like I just go over and fill my little humidor injector with some clean drinking water, but I know distilled water probably has its own effect. And I found this limestone tonic water.
Yep.
That I'm kind of interested to play around with.
Yeah. The limestone stuff is kind of marketed because a lot of the Kentucky distilleries will tell you the reason why that their whiskey is special is because they're on a limestone bed. Most of Kentucky is, and that limestone acts as a natural filtration and mineral flavoring to their well water. So that's kind of the idea behind it. It could be, up to you to determine if that really tastes different or not, but that's sort of the marketing on it. Yeah, as Val said, yeah, once that ISQ really starts to go, you might end up diluting it too much, but
yeah, it's quite different. It's not bad. I've definitely had some worse pours, but I definitely juggling a little bit too much with that one. I also got to figure out. We were talking recently about the options on different ice cube methods and trying to get a better, longer lasting ice cube. That'll also be something I play with for sure.
Yep. One thing, there's like 2 whiskeys I can think of currently that I enjoy over ice more often than neat, and one of them is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof. This is a pick that I was a part of for a different channel, not ours, but just one I have available. But these tend to be very fiery, powerful, hot, pours. And I think having them over ice kind of really mellows them out and kind of highlights the sweetness of them that can sometimes be hidden by the heat. So if there's any whiskey I'm going to put over a rocks glass to enjoy, it's going to be something like this. I think the only other one that I would do that for occasionally would be any of your other, younger brash whiskeys like a Stag. Sometimes I've poured over ice and enjoyed it, but it's not my go-to method.
I'm glad you mentioned that one. I know it's not a store pick, but I hear a lot of people talking good about those single barrel strengths. So I picked up 2 different ones, and then you taught me a little bit on the first number of the barrel house is not the barrel house. I thought they were rows within the barrel house, but
Yeah.
I got a barrel house 306 at the 130 proof. This one's from 2023 August.
Okay.
And then I got this other one that's a 126.1 from 2024. So it's a little bit newer, February. So it's cooler temperature on top of it being the lower proof. These are probably going to be very different.
Yeah, they're going to be. That's the fun thing about those single barrels is that one is so different from the next one. And did you grab any of the barrel proof ryes, or did you only grab the Tennessee whiskeys?
Only the Tennessee whiskey at this point. There are a few that are. We talked about price point, and I'll probably get the full size one for about 70, and that's probably pretty fair. Definitely, I'll try to keep an eye out of some of those cool barrel houses that get close to matching some of the really rare stuff. But I think just in getting to enjoy it might be kind of fun because it's the different mash bills is cool.
Yeah, their rye has always been so solid for me. I've had 0 bad Jack Daniel's barrel proof ryes. I've had some bad Jack Daniel's barrel proof Tennessee whiskeys, but I really love their rye so much. What's up, Cigar Apostle? Good evening to you.
Oh yeah, I gotta learn all the sales times for stuff. That's really important. Yeah, shout out Crispin. He does some really cool reviews. He's also a whiskey enthusiast. He's definitely has been talking to me through my journey and liking the picks that I've been doing. He also does some cool live reviews with his wife, which is really cool. It's nice to see power couples doing well.
Yeah, my wife is actually what got me into whiskey. A little over 2 years ago, I was not a whiskey fan in the slightest, and then she was though. So she encouraged me to try further, and I ended up falling in love. So
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Now I'm way beyond her. She's like, you could have stopped 2 years ago with like 5 bottles, and I was like, yeah, well, that's my personality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool, Terry. My wife is my whiskey partner. Heck yeah, I love that. Yeah, I definitely gotta, next time we do one of these, I gotta upgrade the StreamYard. It wasn't letting me really control it. I was trying to. It's an old laptop that I can't really do the audio and video out of, but I was going to try to use it for the chat, but since it's a non-paid, it's kind of limited on the feature. We'll try to do better next time, but I appreciate everybody being here and enjoying this time with me and Zach. It's totally fun.
Yeah, you do what you can. That's the hidden cost of YouTuberism, right? It's all those little things that add up over time. Streaming software, we've experienced our own headaches with our own streaming software. Thankfully, it seems to be working now, but that's something that you just kind of have to roll with the punches sometimes.
So I keep jumping between the different glasses that are going on. With the 2 small drops of water, I got a huge banana candy note, but at the front it was really sharp, astringent. It definitely really narrowing the profile through a small hole to try to get it to you. It's the same juice, but it's amazing on how much the glass is different.
Do you know about the Bottled and Bond Act and why that's a thing?
A little bit. I know you were going over it on your guys' episode that it needed to be government overseen in the late 1800s, that the artificial flavoring and coloring was an issue, and that age statement and the proofing got to be regulated under that. I was told that I should still go back, and some of the stuff I've been picking, I skipped over the bottle and bond for the old granddad, and that I'm missing something special in that old granddad bottle and bond. That's definitely something to go back to.
Yeah, that's a solid bottle. And the new 7-year old granddad bottle and bond, which is an affordable bottle, is also really, really good. And then the old granddad 114 is seen as a budget winner for a lot of folks. Hey, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. No, I'll definitely hit you up on that, Randy. I appreciate all the help. In the cigar community, I'm kind of the poster for the really small, not crazy serious production. We got our other peers, Cigar Hound Dog and Cigar Carpenter, that are very consistent in their production and getting videos out. I get them out where I can, but just trying to share my journey and trying to have, not copying them in my methods of stuff, but anywhere I can improve, I'll still keep my personality in there. I'll take the help. It's cool. That's definitely pretty cool that everybody's been really welcoming to me on both communities. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are getting to the last 3 bottles of the samplers you sent me. I might have you on for the blinds A and B, because you kind of just gave me proof points with those.
Yep.
And that we'll review those at another time. If you're interested in coming back on the channel, that might be kind of fun.
Definitely. Always game to jump on here with you and sip along. I've still got those bottles, so I can sip it and go through it with you and to help you do the reveal. See what you think.
And then I've been really excited about this last one, especially your relationship with it. I haven't had any Green River stuff, and that's right, that they're kind of behind the Blue Note.
Yep.
Bottles. That you were part of the barrel pick for this particular one. How was that experience?
So that one was actually a virtual barrel pick. So Blue Note sent us, I think, 5 barrel samples in the mail, and so me and 3 other people were part of the pick team. And so we tried through all of them, blind. We didn't know the details. We don't know the age statement, the proof, or anything, and ended up selecting that bottle that we ended up calling the Blue Note Bar Dark. It's a 5-year-old, 118.6 proof Green River distillate, so 70 corn, 21 rye, 9 malted barley. And we picked it just because I think during the pick video, I talked about it basically being like distilled ice cream sundae notes. So I had a little nuttiness, had the chocolateness, had the vanilla, had caramel, little bit of fruitiness too, and we all just gushed over how crushable is a word you'll often hear a lot, which basically just means it's so good you don't that you'll end up drinking more of the bottle than you think, because that's how tasty it is. But that one was a ton of fun to select, and I really enjoyed that bottle. I think also, if I'm not mistaken, I sent you 2 other ones. I don't know that we covered, the Penelope and the Southern Collective.
I see that on the list. Oh yeah, we good catch. Good catch. Where's the Penelope? Yeah, I definitely don't drink this much. I definitely got to be a little careful. I'm glad I'm not doing anything later. So Penelope really caught my eyes because the Cigar Avengers, they're a pretty cool group of guys that I know before they did their show. They do a Saturday afternoon show, which is good because it's not interfering with dinner time. They cover a lot of other topics in sports, and they're also going after trying out all the celebrity cigars and seeing what's actually good amongst the hype. And they've had some episodes where they've killed bottles of Penelope, so it's got to be pretty good if you're gonna crush through a whole bottle in the sitting. So this one is the Architect Toasted number 4. I haven't got to really have anything toasted, so it definitely caught my eye. There's not a whole lot of Penelope out there that's in the better selections of what I see online. I did see a regular toasted that I got my eyes on from Bevmo, but I thought that this was pretty cool to pick out. How is this one in your opinion?
So that one's actually a pick from my wife's hometown, Savannah, Georgia. There's a liquor store out there that's really awesome on Broughton Street, if anyone visits. They did a lot of work with another whiskey tube channel, which has kind of moved away from whiskey content at this stage, but Whiskey Row was what they were called. They did a lot of stuff together. This was not a Whiskey Row pick, but this was just one of their picks. But this is 110 proof. We don't know the age statement, but MGP distillate of the lower rye. So 75 corn, 21 rye, 4 malted barley, finished with French oak staves. And then this one was unique because it was the first ever toasted Architect that Penelope ever did. And they did it for that store upon their request. So that one's really neat and unique, and my wife loves that pour. So not because it's from her hometown, but just because it's really tasty, good. I love French oak too, so that'll be interesting to see how you think about French oak, because that's going to be unique from any of the other ones that I sent you. So it'll definitely be interesting to see your thoughts on that one.
Very cool. So I'm gonna go try to hunt down that toasted bottle because it's not too expensive, and then compare it with this one that got the French oak staves.
Yeah, staves.
Yeah, staves. Because that's like they're like pieces of the oak that are placed in the spirit, right?
Yep. This is a stave from the inside of a barrel. It's cut into a Glen holder, but yeah, you can see whiskey line right there, how far the whiskey penetrated the oak. And then obviously the charring. This is a char 4, alligator char, you'll hear it called. That's the inside of the barrel and the outside of the barrel. But this is what would be considered a stave.
Right on. Super cool. Learning a lot hanging out with you for this. It's definitely gonna probably be the highest rewatch on this video just because it's good knowledge and it'll help me understand these better.
Yep.
So that's super cool. Thank you, Randy, for stopping by. It was definitely cool having him in here.
Yeah, man.
And the Southern Collective, Uber up here, right?
Yeah, that's another. It's a pick I did. So if you're unfamiliar with Southern Collective, Tyler Boggs is in our Discord, Bogzilla. I'll say mildly famous in the whiskey community at this point. We've all really championed him. At least I have. But he works for Southern Collective. They're in downtown Nashville. So if you have any people that watch your channel from the Southeast, Tennessee, or visit Nashville, go check out Southern Collective. Tell Tyler, Zach, and the Spirited Guys sent you. He'll hook you up. Awesome. It's a great experience. It's one of the few places it's very homey, and you just get brought into their little barrel aging area, and they basically just pull straight out of the barrel and sample right there and there. And if you like anything at all that you try, you can get a bottle of it. You can get a 375 or a 750 of it. And it's awesome pricing, and they get stuff from all over the country, MGP, Green River, OZ Tyler, some of the craft distilleries in Tennessee, like Old Glory, etc. So this is 6-year-old MGP rye that's 118 proof. However, this one's unique. It's not 95.5 rye, which is a word you'll hear a lot in the whiskey community. This is actually 51 rye, 49 malted barley. So heavy malted barley content, and it is finished in maple syrup casks. So this one I selected with my best friend who went up to Southern Collective with me, and we were just trying through some stuff, and I was like, well, that thing was just deliciousness. So I walked home with a bottle of that, and so that's that sample.
Yeah, wicked cool. Because I know that anytime that coffees or tobacco have utilized the maple syrup, that I've really enjoyed, and that is a pretty unique rye build. I think that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's. If you love maple syrup, I think you're going to be a big fan of that one then.
Heck yeah. So I was hoping to be able to utilize the chart facing the right way. I think it's backwards for the viewers, but
no, it looks right. I'm watching the stream here, so it's the right direction.
All right, cool. So I'm really enjoying this one. I think it's, especially for that special price point I'm seeing at my local store, I am going to rate this a 6-7 for the young generation. It's really close to being a regular shelf worthy. I think if the pricing for it was always in that 25 spot, I think it would probably be one of my favorite go-to shelf worthies. That it ends up a lot of times being higher than that. There might be some better stuff when it's not on that sale price to try to go after, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm definitely going to be picking up the second bottle. Out of the 3 different ways of my pour, the neat definitely gives the most out of it, especially with the better glass.
Yep.
Quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I'll be interested. The bonded rye is actually, I think, around 7 years old, 8 years old. So it's pretty old for Tennessee rye. And then that triple malt that they do, I think they call it, or triple mash is what they call it, is also really interesting. It's actually a blend of their bourbon, their Tennessee whiskey, their rye, and their American single malt all into one glass. So it's titled an American whiskey, would be its official title, but that one's also really interesting, really different. I think it would be interesting to see your thoughts on that one. So I think all three of them are worth exploring and just seeing which one you like the most. And if you don't want to go in on a full bottle, I'm sure you could jump in Spirited Discord and shoot out an ISO that you're looking for samples of those. And there's probably someone in the community that would be very willing to send you that and get you reviews on the channel. So
Right on. No, I'll definitely, if my search doesn't come fruitful, then I'll definitely dig into the community for that. Um, the other day when we were having the cigar meetup, I got to connect with Mark,
yeah,
and he was connecting on where I'm at in my journey, and to keep me out of the FOMO on some of these crazy bottles that are out of my price. He was happy to know I haven't got to experience a whole lot of ryes yet. I think the only rye I've really had was a Willits family reserve rye that I enjoyed quite a bit. I only got in the little shooter, but I've mostly been enjoying bourbons. He's putting together a nice rye sampler for me to try some of the rye 3 stuff that I can't find anywhere around me. Pretty excited.
Is he sending you the cigar blend by chance?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
He was asking of what I have, and he's taking the Sazerac rye out, which is okay. I have the 200 milliliters, so he's gonna move around some stuff. I'll be curious to see what he brings.
Yeah. Mark's also from the Nashville area, so another reason to come visit. Hang out with Mark and Tyler and Holden is an awesome guy, also in our community. He's a big cigar smoker, big Crown Heads fan, amongst other things. So obviously Crown Heads being Tennessee based, they're big supporters of them. So lots of cool people in the Tennessee community. So if anyone watches this and just come on in and tell people where you're going, and we probably got someone there that's could bring you over for some samples, shares, whatever. So but yeah, I mean that's awesome. Rye 3 does make really good. I think I actually had a toasted Rye 3 on my list, also from that very same Savannah liquor store that did the Penelope. I love that pour.
Good looking out, Terry. Definitely will connect with you. I think that'll be cool. I appreciate it a lot. I'm trying to go through a career change, so getting into a new hobby is kind of tough, but it's cool that you guys are looking out for me, helping me find my footing and what I like. That way, when I do get to spend on stuff, I'm getting something that I'm going to actually enjoy that makes a big difference.
Yeah, a lot of things you'll see, like, the cigar community is so generous about sending each other cigars just to see what you think about it or try it. Same with the whiskey community, like 1-2 ounce samples, 4 ounce samples, even in some cases. Bottle splits are like another thing that's been really awesome, that it's kind of been more recent for me in the whiskey community, probably in the last year plus or so. Really taking advantage of those where you can, because you get to a point where you're like, I don't really need all of this whiskey. I just need like this much of it, honestly. And I get to try it multiple times and enjoy it, and then I get to move on to something else, something new. If you're an explorer type, if you're pretty, I'll find something I like and I stick with it, then maybe you do want the bottle. But take advantage of the community, put those requests out there, do some swaps, do some trades. People are super generous and super willing to help, especially newer drinkers. I think everyone just gets excited and wants to help you figure out, because they're like, man, I hope you don't do the same mistakes I made. Yeah. So
yeah, you teaching me about the liquid ministry. That's definitely a way that I'll try to build up the things that I have, and that'll be a nice way to not just be a recipient, to give out some stuff too.
Yeah, I will say the liquid ministry is not the cheapest method to get sample bottles. You can go on Amazon and find Boston Rounds is what you need to search for. But liquid ministry is the nicest on the market, and we do have that 10% discount code, Spirited 10, that anyone can use at any time, and it gets you 10% off. So that definitely helps. Yeah, Terry, a lot of us in the whiskey community, these take up a lot more room than cigars do. So
I'm
it's a little
pretty
bit.
happy. My wife was real supportive and won't let me do it. I got this little cabinet.
Yeah.
We were looking on Amazon, see what would work out for me, and you guys were giving me good advice of don't pick something that can't support the weight. It's not necessarily the size, but you got to make sure you have some weight to it. And we were doing some estate sale stuff. Her stepdad is pretty good on finding things that have a good resale value, and it's good to go in there and try to find some gems. And we found that cabinet for $20. I think that's a pretty good one. Uh, I'm I've definitely, as a small collection, I've already kind of maxed it out. So I'm definitely got to be busy drinking and make some space. But it's
Yeah, the
cool. The
samples
little
are
bottles
awesome.
don't take up a lot.
Yeah, the samples are awesome. They don't take up a lot of space. You can get a ton of them in. You can try a half ounce or an ounce, and if you don't like it, you can put the rest down the drain, throw it away, whatever you want to do, and then or you can reuse the sample bottles. Let's see if I can safely. I'll show you kind of the difference here. Woo, oh, there's my pipe tobacco. Oh, it stops. Oh no. Well, anyways, I was going to show you my humidor, which is covered in whiskey
Ah.
bottles. So,
Hey,
but
it's a beautiful thing.
that's what I use my humidor top shelf for, so, or the top surface, I should say. I can get this back in, and there we go. All right.
Okay, so we're hitting about the hour mark. Definitely could spend a lot of time chatting with you. I know we're on different time zones, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but this has been super cool. I definitely think we probably set a trend of having the unboxings being a live event with the both parties. I think that's pretty special because you got a lot of knowledge on these bottles, and it is great to have the reference of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably even more information than what comes on the bottle, so I think that's super duper cool. I appreciate your friendship, man. This definitely means a lot, and I'm excited to be part of the community and learning.
Yeah, and anyone who watches this, come on over, hang out with us. I hope to be as awesome of a community as the Cud is, and I see that displayed every day from them. And I love when I'm watching in our Discord now, people sending people bottles, sending them samples. Like, it's just an awesome thing to see. That's what we all want from Spirited. That we just want to build that super generous, welcoming community where people are just sharing and having a good time and getting that fellowship.
And that is free to join is huge. That
Yeah.
you guys also have the Patreon that is allowing some of the more exclusive things going on of being part of Barrel Picks, but that is zero cost to join the community is huge. I'll throw the link in here off of your guys' page so anybody that checks out this video could go join up.
Yeah.
They're less than 300 members and growing, and it's definitely super cool. It's great complimentary to my cigar and pipe smoking to be part of a good whiskey community.
Definitely, and vice versa. I'm trying to bring a little bit of that energy to our group as well. We just revamped our cigar tobacco section today, so that was part of a renewed effort. It's something I'm really latching on to, and I know Norm and Randy are enjoy the leaf as well. So we'd love to see you guys in there as well, contributing on either side. And actually, as a note to the cigar smokers who watch this, one of our first barrel picks from Backbone out of Indianapolis will be a fusion cask of cigar malt that we're calling the Stogie-tastic batch. So, if that sounds really interesting to you, we think it'll be pretty affordable. It's definitely going to be under $100. We don't know the final pricing yet, but we would love to get samples out to you guys, or if you guys want to come in and buy a bottle and tell us your thoughts. We want to hear good or bad about it, but we're pretty happy with it as our community, and we can't wait to share it with everyone else.
Super cool.
All right, Ben. Well, you want to sign us off?
Yep. It's been a great time. Thank you for tuning in to BenBoozing episode 10 with our special guest, Zach from Spirited Reviews. We'll catch you guys at another time.
Stay spirited.